Hi everyone, and welcome back to our crafting tutorial series. In this episode we're going to start work on our user interface for our inventory and crafting system. So for this episode we're going to start off by setting up a few things with our game mode and our player controller. So head into your first person blueprint folder, in this case for me anyway, and what we're going to do is create our own player controller. So I'm going to go add new blueprint class and choose player controller. I'm going to name this one my player controller. Now the reason why we create our own player controller is because we can easily add more stuff to it, interact with it a bit more, and ultimately have more control. So it's best to always have your own custom controller. It inherits everything anyway from the original controller, so it's not a big problem. So now we've got that set up, we need to tell our game mode to use it. So open up your game mode, and in here you should see the option for player controller class. From the drop down, choose your My Player Controller. Compile and save. So the player controller is going to handle all the things regarding the user interface, and that includes showing it on and off. So for this to work, we need to set up our heads-up display. So I'm going to right click here and create a new user interface, and this is going to be our heads-up display. And this is going to be the generic panel which is going to contain all of our contents for our user interface. So the purpose of this video, we're not going to go into massive detail of how to set up the user interface yet. That'll be in the next episode. We're just going to get it so we can toggle it off and on. Now for this to work, we need to make our canvas panel here interactive as well. So we're going to click on here and change the name of the canvas panel here to HUD canvas, and tick is variable, and click compile. Close this down, and then we're going to go and create our new UI. So in my crafting folder, I'm going to create a new folder here called UI and open this up. In here, I'll create a new widget blueprint, and this will be called the crafting menu. With this open, we're going to set up the appearance of our crafting menu. As I said, in this episode, we'll do something very basic. In the next episode, we'll go into actual detail of that. So for this, I'm just going to put in a border. And I'm going to make that border stretch across the whole screen by telling it to fill the whole place and setting all the offsets to 0. And I'm just going to change the colour of it a bit. So I'm going to just choose like a grey, dark grey there, and go 0.8. Okay. When we're done here, we can compile and return to a heads-up display. Inside the heads-up display, we're going to add to our canvas here the crafting menu UI, and I'm going to tell mine to stretch the whole width and height, changing the offset to 0 and 0 in all directions. So there's my crafting menu. Now I've got it here, I'm going to go to the graph, and now I can set up the toggle for it to turn off and on. So create a custom event called toggle in crafting menu, and in here we're going to drag the crafting menu UI variable out and check visibility. So we go is visible and put that into boolean, a branch, sorry. In the branch on the false track, we're going to change the visibility of it to be visible and set the various options available to us, allow us to interact with it. So again, grab your crafting menu UI out, set visibility, and I'm going to change that to visible. We're then going to set input mode to game and UI, and the player controller is get player controller, and the widget to focus is this crafting menu UI widget. So I'm going to drag that down like so. From the player controller return value, we're also going to do set show mouse cursor to true. On the true track of our branch, we're going to do basically the same, but doing the opposite, making it hidden. So set visibility, change that to hidden. Set input mode, we're going to change from game and UI to just game. So set input mode to game only. and set show mouse cursor to false. So there is our toggle. We're now going to be able to add the HUD to the screen and call this function with a key press. To set up that key press, we're going to go to Edit, Project Settings, go to Input, and add a new action mapping. And this is going to be called Toggle Crafting. And we'll use the Tab key for this. Once that's closed, we're going to go into our player controller. Inside the player controller, we can go Begin Play. And then from there, we're going to create a widget. Because we're going to create a head-up display widget and put it onto the screen. So there's creating it. We're going to take the return value and promote that to a variable, because we want to be able to access it later to change settings, such as toggling our menu, and then add that to the viewport. Then we're going to call that toggle crafting input action. We're going to drag our head-up display reference out, and then from there we can call the toggle crafting menu function, like so. The one thing to do is I forgot to go onto my head-up display and make sure my crafting menu is set to hidden at the start. So change it from visibility to hidden. Hit compile and we can test that out. So I hit tab, you can see I can show and hide my menu. There you go. So next thing we need to do is make it so we can't walk around. So let's quickly add that functionality in. So I'm going to go into my head-up display, onto the graph, and on the visible track, on the false track down here, we're going to get the player character and disable input. And the player controller is get player controller. On the top one, we want to re-enable the input. So I'm just going to drag these both up here so we can both use them again. Enable input. And player controller as well. So now when I push play, tab, I can't move. Tab, I can move. Okay, and there we have it. So next job is to start setting up the actual crafting menu itself, so we can actually see that bush go into our inventory for crafting use later on. If you want to watch the episode right now, head over to patreon.com/RyanLady, where you can watch the episode plus many others before anyone else. Big shout out and thank you to all of my supporters on Patreon and YouTube members for their continued support. This wouldn't be possible without you guys, so thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and if you have any questions, leave a comment below. Thanks again everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.